Folks, the first pose that we're doing today is bird to bow. It's a really beautiful opening stretch, and as well as a beautiful pose to hold. For the basis, while you're watching me demonstrate, I highly encourage, instead of a static watching, to get on your ankles and your wrists, stretch them out. While you watch also basis, a really fun one for this one is to just watch and point your toes. Point your toes forward, bring your toes back, and your heels up. You'll be using this type of motion a lot to balance your flyer today. Okay. And for flyers, as you're watching, I really want you to lay forward here on your belly. Push get your heart open, your hips forward, and practice that. Even if you feel comfortable, bring your hand back. That's while you're watching, okay? If you're feeling really ambitious, get into bow on the ground and practice bowing on the ground like that. And Sarah, can you tell me what you're doing when you're bowing on the ground there to really open up and create that opening?
So with my shoulders, definitely, I come up and back, and then with the legs, also thinking about bringing the knees up if you can, and then you create lots of space there. Now, if you can't get very deep in there, it's just that motion still of lifting the chest up, and you can, to think about the way that you're going to feel this once you're on feet also, is feel that connection that you have with the ground, with your hip bones. That's the connection that you want to have on the feet right there, which helps you find your stability. And of course on feet it's a little more dynamic, so you've got a little more, you may be going forward or back a little more. But it's that connection right through your hips and pelvic bone there that's going to be balancing you. So yeah, just coming up, opening the heart, really bringing the shoulders back. Inhale and start there. And you can exhale to release, and that's going to warm your back up really nice. While we're watching the demos.
Yeah, so again, bases, while you're watching, flex your toes, get those ankles open and ready. And for flyers, again, do bow on the ground. Okay, I think for the first one, we'll have Brianna come up and demonstrate bow. Okay, so for bases, I'm going to have you please sit on the mats over here in front of me so you can get a good view. So as you know, I love teaching classes backwards where I demonstrate how you could possibly fall out of this. My style emphasizes falling because I find for me, when I see something cool on YouTube and when I try it out, hey, I grab my buddy and be like, you want to try this? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. But we gotta wait and find a spotter first. That's not how most people think. They want to try it. So I want to demonstrate how two people could play at home and be aware of what a potential fall could be of. Hey, you wearing shades like me?
I know.
We gotta look cool. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So let's say we're up here in bird, and now we're going to try to get to bow. Whoa! You can fall forward really fast. So this basis is super important to have your hands up the whole time. In case your flyer falls forward, you can catch him on the shoulders, or your flyer can feed his or her hands into your own hands to brace them for that fall. Okay? So hands up the whole time for the bases. Okay. So now we'll demonstrate how the flyer can make this happen in a safe way where everyone. Okay. So we'll demonstrate it first. Beautiful, Graham. Da 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 da. Okay. All right, Brianna. Let's see what the flyer is doing first, okay? For people who have never gotten into bird before, I want you to practice getting into bird first. I believe, Austin, have you done bird yet?
Yes.
Austin, you have? Have you done bird yet? A little bit? Okay. Let's go straight to bow then. And for those who haven't done bird at all, I'll show that one-on-one. So from here to bow, what happens for the flyer is they really open up their chest, they push the hips forward, lifting the legs a little, and we can walk up free-handed that way into bow. And if you've never done this, let's go back to hands here, Brianna. One way to walk up to it easier is for the flyer to give take one hand away and then reach up for a foot one at a time, that way. And again, Brianna. Notice as I'm taking a hand away, what happens is if she takes that hand away, what happens is it transfers more weight onto the hand that's still remaining, okay? So there'll be more pushing in this hand. A common mistake when people first do bow is that they tend to tilt forward too much, okay? So what you want to do with that is, as your flyer is tilting forward bases, I want you to point your toes towards the sky. Give more gas. Okay, Brianna, can you tell me what you're doing when I'm taking this hand off? What's going on there?
Sure. I'm letting my weight fall into this hand and grabbing my foot, and then basically doing exactly what Sarah just showed us, which is just bringing your chest up and forward, and then grabbing your feet.
Again, the base is where hands are forward the whole time in case they fall forward, okay? All right, we'll come down. Okay, I want to do a quick color coordinating. So for people who have not been at jams before, today, for this first move, it's very beginner friendly. I would say the worst fall isn't too bad as long as your hands are straight forward. But later in the class, I'm going to be doing some things that are a little more challenging, especially with the inversions when you're upside down. So when we're doing any type of inversions, I want you to highly encourage you to, if you're a new flyer, to fly with people who have this red Scotch tape on them, which is Bill here, because Bill's been here forever. Bill, you get a red Scotch tape. How lucky are you? And Bill and myself, when we're doing things later on tonight, okay? And then if you're a new bass and you really want to try the last part of the class, I want you to fly with Sarah, because she's like a monkey. You can toss her, drop her on the ground, and she's going to keep smiling while she's being dropped. So it's like, ah! Okay. Okay, so for the first bird to bow, let me break up groups this way. So Bill, will you please team up with Heather and Austin? Does that work? And you guys can maybe get over and onto Heather. Will you join them on this mat? And then let's do, yeah, Bill, let's do that. And then let's do Sarah, Stewart, maybe another bass. Camel is a really big bendy one. For flyers, I want you to do camel on the ground. Get into a camel position this way. We have a yoga teacher in training, Heather, over here. And Heather, if you feel comfortable, could you walk us through camel and what you're doing to create a really solid camel here?
So you can reach your heels just like having your hands at your sacrum and pushing your hips, really pushing your hips forward. If you can grab your heels, and then pushing your hips forward.
right, so flyers, work on that as you're watching the demonstration. Get a good camel going. And warm up for bases. You'll be using a lot of just your leg strength. So stretch out as if you're doing bird. Get some good stretches there. And then also the toes pointing back and forth too. Okay. So Stacy is going to help demo camel with me. Hi Kevin, come over.
Yeah.
Over here, okay. All right, we'll get in the camel. Okay, we'll come back. So here's what to look out for as you're doing this. Whoa, I don't have you. Oh! So the falling backward you would think would be scarier, right? Because you're hitting your head. But since, Stacey, come back up, please. Since my feet are back here, if she falls back from well here, we'll lean back. If she falls back this way, we're gonna have a spotter behind, but then you can also control a lot with your feet. If she's falling back this way, what she'll do is release her hands here so that she can brace herself. If she is falling back that way, bases, just don't go timber and keep your legs straight. Bend at the knees and shorten that distance for a fall, okay? Okay, Stacey, come over. Okay, so come back again. So this is called well or high flying well. The flyer stands next to the base's ears, leans back, really trusts the weight, really leans in, really allows the base to support her. And then 1, 2, 3, I just lift. Straighten my arms out, okay? To get into easy camel, she's gonna bend at the knee, put her foot against my knee here. So she has some more support, and then she'll bend the other knee, put it against my knee. And this is easy camel. Her feet are on my knees, and I'm supporting her knees. So it gives, there's lots of support here in the feet and the hands and then my knees there. Stacy, what are you doing?
My body like tight and braced against myself.
Mm-hmm.
And pushing out with my hips like forward a lot.
Yes, she's pushing her hips forward. And what are you doing with your hands on your ankles there?
Kind of sideways, like making a seat up and grabbing around.
Are you pushing down on your ankles?
Maybe a little bit. It's more like I'm pushing my arms away.
Yes.
Than
Okay.
pushing down.
Okay, then we'll come down. 1, 2. Drop the fly this way. Beautiful. And then Sarah, will you come up and demo free camel? Okay, bases, if you're feeling comfortable with easy camel, again, the base is getting the flyer to high flying well here. The feet are not really low on the back. Don't aim for the lower back with your toes. Instead, aim your feet right towards the middle of the back, and your heel should be on the top of the back. That's the most comfortable spot right there. We bend the knees in. So again, we support an easy well. Easy camel for a second there. And then if you feel solid and feel strong, we can walk up to free camel, and that means that all her weight's going to be supported on your hands. Okay, so for this one, again, if you're a base, only fly this with Sarah, because she knows how to fly out of this. And then once you've based it with Sarah, then you can move on to newer flyers, okay? Hand placement for the base for free camel is not up here in the knees, and it's not way down the ankles there either. It's right somewhere in between. Personally, for me, I like it where my palm here is towards her hands at the edge here, and then my fingers here give a circus, an acrobatic grip on her heel, on her ankles there. I'm sorry, her shins. And you can tippy toe up, tip, 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 and just lock your arms straight and use your fingers to guide back and forth, okay? This is just for brownie points, but always keep your feet here in case she falls back, because if she does, we just land back on here. Okay, let's come down for a second, Sarah. I'll show, again, feet placement. I'm placing my feet not low on her back here, but towards the middle of the back, my toes, so that my heels land up toward the top of her back. So a nice broad surface all the way there, okay? We're leaning in, and then I'm pushing straight up. I bend her knees back towards my knees. Help support them. Now it's about stacking my arms. Stack them. If you're here, it's too much work. Stack them first. Again, the hands aren't way up here. They're not way back on the feet. They're somewhere in the middle. Me personally, I like my palm right towards the edge of her fingers, and these fingers here against her shin. These two fingers here, so that I can gauge her back and forth. Okay. My feet always stay behind her back in case she falls backwards. I can tippy toe, push her forward. She's gonna push her hips forward and push down towards her ankles there as she balances. So just keep your feet here for now. In case she falls back, she can fall back on your feet. Like that, okay?
So yeah, and as a fighter, you're just really push forward.
Lean back. Okay, here we go. In the hands. All right, possible fall. If you fall at here and you're holding onto the flyer's hands and they're trying to, protect themselves, this is her landing gear. Yeah. And it's very natural to want to hold on because there's a feeling that we're protecting the flyer by holding on. A very natural instinct. But I want you to practice really to support, to help, but don't hinder her from supporting herself. So one way to remember that is help, but don't hold. Okay. So if she falls, you can support her, but she's going to land with her hands. Okay. Good. As you're doing this, flyers, I want you to practice counterbalancing. Get onto your knees and hands, and in a what is this? Cow posture? Cat? Cow? And practice opposites. Watch my badge. I'm taped to her. I did that on purpose to be color coordinated. Opposites, okay? So you're gonna take this hand and this knee off and just balance on your diagonals. You're gonna be doing a lot of that, okay? For flyers, everyone's gonna fly us first. So do diagonals, practice that. And if this is too easy, get onto your toes and point out. And that gets harder, okay? Opposites. So as you watch flyers, do that. If you're watching, it's probably easier to get on your knees and be balancing that way, okay? But just practice the opposites. It's gonna help you a lot to fly this. All right, Sarah, let's bust this out. All right, we're gonna demo how flowy this one is. It's such a simple move. It's just a transition from backfly to reverse bird. But in that journey, it's really nice. It's just a nice little flow back. Okay. Okay, let's go back, Sarah. Again. One more time. Let's go this way this time. Just this. Okay. Come down. For beginner bases who will be basing Sarah, if you've never done reverse bird before, get to that first. So reverse bird mounts from the ears, just like in well, but facing forward. I'm going to bring my toes down towards her legs and my heels up this way. Again, it's aiming the hip bone towards the middle of the foot. I find it works best for me, okay? So not here, because if she rolls in, I'm going to land on her torso like that, too far forward. I'm going to dig really deep low towards her feet, and she leans forward. And her hip bone should land either towards the ball of my feet or the middle of my foot, okay? So this is point B. We'll start from point A again, sir, from Backfly. So when you're flying this, remember, be active, please. Do the opposites while you watch, because you'll be using that in just a sec here. As you're flying this, for the flyers, what she does is she's going to tuck a knee towards her chest and roll onto that hip. Roll onto that hip. And as she's on this hip, she's pushing off the opposite arm. That's why we're practicing the opposites. It's always the opposites. If a foot's on one hip, 90% of the time you're pushing off the opposite arm, okay? She's going to turn into reverse bird and end up in reverse bird here, okay? Let's come back again, sir.
And as I turn there, of course, I just straighten my leg out to make that bird position happen once I get there.
Okay, come back. Back fly. So again, the flyer tucks their knees in towards the chest, rolls onto the hip, and then watch her hands here. She rolls onto the hip here, then she switches her hands behind my calf so I can grab on the other side, and then we bring the feet into reverse bird. Again, hip bones right there, and she lifts up. What else are you doing, Sarah, that I'm missing?
Yeah, just maintaining that bird position once you get here. In this one, there's a lot of tendency for you to feel like you're falling forward.
Yeah.
What you want to do to counteract that is really bring your shoulders back, be really engaged through your back core muscles there. Legs engaged as well. If you're sloppy with your legs here, then you're going to be sloppy, like your whole body kind of hinges. So it's just being really active through the entire body, bringing the shoulders back.
Okay. All right, we'll come down. And then we'll do, let me do one for the bases so they understand what they're doing with the feet. Okay, from Backfly again, Sarah. So bases, find your feet placement again here. Her hip bones are right around there. Again, always the middle of the foot or the ball of the feet. She's leaning back. I'm grabbing her triceps, receiving, meeting in the middle. Then I'm pushing up. She's going to let go once she feels safe. We grab arms like star hands. I love these two fingers here. They give me support. But again, I'm helping, but I'm not holding. And in case of a fall, she can brace herself. And always 2 feet from the concrete. Helping, not holding, 2 feet from the concrete. Generally, you're safe. She's going to hook a knee forward. Watch my feet here. I don't just slide it over. I hook my feet all the way over towards the front, toes in. I hook it in, and then with this free foot here, I'm pushing her up onto the hip. She's on the hip here. And as she's on this foot, it's opposites. I'm pushing really strong on this arm in particular.
And I'm holding myself up. I'm pushing really strong.
Locking straight. And that's what we talked in the opening circle about the idea of mutual participation. She's meeting me halfway, I'm meeting her halfway, and in our meeting in the halfway, we create even more strength than we could do alone as a team. And she brings her hand behind my calf, rolling this way, and then my feet catch her into reverse bird. Again, for bases, you have a tendency to drop her this way. Ease off the gas, bring your toes back this way. Okay, so in case she falls, she just lands back behind you.